Hello. I am building another piece of hot roddery out of a 1996 Dodge 1500 with a 5.9 Magnum. Originally, it comes, as most of you with a computer can find out, with a single Holley 2-barrel throttle body and multi-port fuel injection. These guys right here. Now, the inside of this intake manifold has runners that go clear from this side all the way over to the head. Those are long and skinny and very restrictive at high RPM. Anything over about 4 grand and it starts to suck itself out of air. So what I've done is eliminate the air problems at 3 points. Point number 1, instead of a restrictive 2-barrel intake, I'm putting 3 2-barrel intakes. As you can see, I'm missing 1. As soon as I find it, I'll modify it to make it fit just like these guys have been. This here is there just for mock-up purposes, so everybody knows my idle air control goes there. Also, a few minor details, such as I need to get a shorter hose so it doesn't go up so high and hit that idle air control. I'd like to get Ford high-performance injectors that have the 4 spray holes instead of the 1 single spray hole like the Bosch injector has. Where's out of focus? Of course it's out of focus. Anyway, 1 single spray hole in the Bosch injectors. Not as great atomization patterns as the Ford high-performance injectors that will fit right in. Same connectors and everything if you get the proper year. This is where the air intake temperature sensor goes. Right now on my truck I have it mounted on the K&N filter that comes, K&N air intake, cold air intake that comes this way, and I just poked it in there so it can read the incoming air from the cold air intake instead of inside of this. Reason being is it was sticking right inside of this long runner. I don't want it in the way of my airflow, so I blocked it off and put it over here. But now, since I've modified this intake manifold, instead of the runners coming clear from this side over and going into the head, they're chopped off right about here, where I had to modify the intake manifold to set this new flange to mount the 3 throttle bodies rather than the single. Because they're chopped off right here, it's a straight shot from the mouth of this runner right to the head, just like a tunnel ram intake manifold. However, unlike a tunnel ram intake manifold, I don't have to worry about carburation. Carburetors on tunnel rams are usually not good ideas because you have a lot of fuel dropout and low intake velocity. On this intake manifold, however, it's multi-port fuel injection. You do not have to worry about fuel dropout because it's being put right where it needs to be. Let's see, we have modifications to the throttle bodies that are done is obvious. You can see it's been chopped down so each of them can sit closely and not take up too much room. The inside of the throttle bodies are all that matters. The parts that's been chopped off, the middle has the rear chopped off and the front chopped off. The front has the rear chopped off. The back will have the front chopped off. Everything will fit nice and flush on this manifold and fairly compact. I'm leaving the fronts on this one and leaving the back on this one. The back on this obviously has to be left for the idle air control. The front I'm leaving so I have a uniform flange and everything will be oval shaped. So when I fab up my new air cleaner, it sits right down on there with a nice oval shape. I haven't yet decided whether I'm going to go with an open element like the 6-pack manifolds on the old Chargers and Challengers used to have, or if I'm going to build an enclosed and modify my K&N cold air intake off of it. But what I'm leaning towards is an open filament with a plexiglass lid that will have 3 wing nuts to hold it down. That way, with the plexiglass, you can look down in there and see that I have awesomeness under that air cleaner, because it's definitely unique. As soon as you pop the hood, you'll see it. Anyhow, I just thought I'd share that with everybody. This is it mocked up right now, and just to give you an idea of what all I've done to this so far. There's my flange. Just a flat aluminum flange, flat plate that I've cut out to the proper gasket size for my new intake. It's 1.5 inches thick, kind of heavy even though it's aluminum. However, it will get a lot lighter whenever I take all of this metal out of it, because I've got 6 bores going in here, so there's going to be a lot of metal removed. Now the intake manifold itself, you turn it over, you can see the remnants of the runners. They used to start here, go clear over and into the head. What that's for, obviously, is to build a lot of intake charge velocity, to help it build low-end torque. However, I don't tow with my truck. The biggest thing I tow is my motorcycle. It's not a very big motorcycle. So, I can get away with a higher RPM band than most pickup trucks who tow on a regular basis do. In the meantime, this flange will sit right there, have the 3 throttle bodies sitting on top of it to feed this common plenum, and it will suck air from the common plenum right straight shot to the heads. No fuss, just a straight shot. I'll get all the casting flashes cleaned up, all my burr marks cleaned up. Everything's going to be clean, proper, and shiny. And the hope is that it's going to scream its little ass off. Just, just a hope. However, I have heard, as I'm sure some of you have heard, a 6-pack manifold at full throttle, and you can really hear that thing sucking air because you have so much throttle opening that you can really hear the valves opening and closing and sucking air and all that good stuff. I mean, it's just a really awesome sound, and that's really what started me down this path in the first place, is I wanted to hear the sound of the throttle. In fact, I'm really toying with the idea of getting quieter pipes so I can hear my throttle. Anyway, this is running rather long, as I am naturally long-winded, and I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. And that's it.